In this video, I will be using group policy to deploy Sumatra PDF. I will deploy it using two different methods. One is where we create a policy for the main computers and the computers install the software during startup. Another one is where we create a policy for the main users and then the users themselves can install the software whenever they like. I will also use Wix to package the executable into MSI file. I'm starting this video from my GitHub page, and that's because there are a few bits of information here that I will be using for this video, and I will leave the URL in the description down below. Also, in the bottom of the page you can find more of my videos that are related to this topic. For example, here you can find videos about my Windows Server setup if you are interested in that. There is also videos about extra group policies and settings that I'm using when I'm deploying software using group policy, and also there are a few videos about Wix on how to install it and use it. And now I will begin this video by downloading Sumatra PDF executable installation files, and for that I will use the link that I have here that brings me to the download page. And I will be downloading this installer right here, so I will click on the link and then I will go to my downloads folder. And now that I have my executable, I need to package it into MSI file, and for that I will be using Wix, and for Wix we need a configuration file. And for that I will go back to the GitHub page, because here I have few configuration files. One is called Sumatra PDF, and this one is already finished configuration file that you can check out if you want to, but for this video I will be using this one called template. So I will click on it, and then I will click on the button here to download the configuration file. Then I will go back to my downloads folder and I will rename the configuration file to Sumatra PDF. Then I will right click on the file and I will open it with Visual Studio Code, and you can use any other text editor. As you can see, it's only an XML file. Basically, it's instructions for Wix on how to package the executable into a MSI file for us. And when working with this file, we only care about this part right here. Basically, here we need to enter the information that is specific to Sumatra PDF installation. First, we need to name our package, so I will name it Sumatra PDF installer. Then for exe we need to provide the executable file name, and for that I will go back to my downloads folder. I will right click on the executable, select rename, then I will select the full name to include the extension because the extension is important, and I will copy the name and I will paste in the value here. Then we need to provide the path, and the path is where we currently have our executable, and in my case it's my downloads folder, and my downloads folder is in my D drive, so I'll type D and downloads. Then we need to provide silent arguments because we want this MSI file to execute Sumatra PDF installation silently, and for that I will go back to the main page for Sumatra PDF in my GitHub. And I have the sound switches right here, so I will select them and I will copy, and then I will paste them here. Then for the version, we need to provide the version number for this MSI package, and it's unrelated to the software version, but in most cases I like to keep them the same. So I'll copy the version number from the executable name and I will paste it here. Then publisher is not that important, but it's a mandatory field, so I will enter let's do automation. And last thing that we need is GUID, and GUID is basically a unique identifier, and we can use PowerShell to generate it. And for that I will go back to the GitHub page, and as you can see here we have a command that we can use with PowerShell. So I will select it, copy it, then I will open terminal and I will paste in the command here. And as you can see here, every time I'm using this command, I'm getting a new unique identifier. So I will copy one of the values and I will paste it here. And basically we're done creating our configuration file. Now we can use Wix to create an MSI package. And for that I will go back to the terminal. And here I will change the location to the location where I have my executable and my configuration file. And like I said before, it's in my D downloads folder. So I will type cd d and then downloads, and if I type there, we can see that I have my executable here and the Wix configuration file. Now to build the MSI package, I will type Wix build, and then we need to provide our configuration file name. So in my case it's SumatraPDF.wxs, and let's press enter. Then let's go to the downloads folder, and as you can see here, we have our MSI file. So I will right click it, select copy, and then I will go to my VMware workstation where I have my Windows Server environment. For now, I will minimize the server manager, and then I will move the MSI file to my desktop. And now I will move it to a network share that is accessible to my users and computers, and for that I will open File Explorer, and here I will enter my file server name. It's srv02. Here I have this software share, and here I will create another folder. I will name it Sumatra PDF. I will go inside of it, and I will move the MSI file into this folder. And here you need to make sure that you have the correct NTFS and share permissions. For example, in my case, if I go to Properties, Security tab, and Edit, you can see that I have authenticated users with read permissions for my NTFS permissions, and I also have the same permissions for my share permissions. And authenticated users covers both users and computers in my domain, so that means that all of my users and all of my computers are able to access the share and execute files from it. And that's basically it. So let's close everything here and go back to the server manager, because now we can start creating our group policies. And for that I will go to Tools, Group Policy Management, then I will right click Group Policy Objects and select New. The first policy that I will be creating will be for my computers. It's where the software is installed during startup. So I will name the policy Assign Sumatra PDF and click OK. Then let's expand Group Policy Objects, right click on the policy that we created and select Edit. Because this policy is for our computers, we need to go to Computer Configuration, Policy, Software Settings, and Software Installation. Then I will right click here, go to New and select Package. Here you need to make sure that you're selecting a file that is located in a network share. For example, it will allow me to select a file that is located in the server's desktop, but when the computers would try to install the software, the installation would fail because they don't have access to this file. So to access a file to select the file that is located in a network share, I will click here. Then I will enter file server name srv02, go to the software share, Sumatra PDF folder, and select the file that is located here. Here I will select Advanced and select OK. Then go to Deployment tab and Advanced. Here for Advanced Deployment options, I will select Ignore language when deploying this package, because I want to deploy this package to all of my computers, no matter what system language they have. Then I will click OK here and OK here, and now we can close this window because we're done creating our policy. And then I will select the policy here, go to Details, and for GPU status I will select User Configuration Settings Disabled, because currently this policy only has computer configuration in it, and I will leave all other settings on default. Now after creating our policy, we need to assign it to an organization unit that is holding the computers on which we want to deploy the software. In my case, the organization unit will be this one, Domain Computers 1. So to assign the policy, I will click and hold on the policy and then drag and drop it on the organization unit. And I will click OK here. As you can see, the policy appeared here and also in the list here. And now I will demonstrate how this policy works. And for that, I will go to one of my computers that is located in this organization unit, and it's client 01 that I have here. And here we only need to update our group policy. So I'll go to the start menu, type in CMD, and I will open the command line without administrative privileges. Here I will type GP update and press enter. And as you can see, the policy update was successful, and here we're getting this informational message saying that the computer detected a software installation package, and for that package to install, we need to reboot our computer. And for that, I will type shut down -R -T0 and press enter. And now let's see what's going to happen. As you can see here, my software installation package is currently being installed, and it seems that it's done installing. So let's sign back in. And here we have our Sumatra PDF desktop shortcut, so I'll double click on it. And it seems to be working just fine. And that's it for deploying the software to our computers. Now let's create another policy this time for our domain users so that they can install the software whenever they like. And for that, I will go back to my server. Then I will right click on group policy objects, select new, and this time I will name the policy publish Sumatra PDF and click OK. Right click on the policy, select edit, and this time, because this policy is for our users, we need to go to user configuration, policy, software settings, software installation. Right click here, go to new and select package. Once again, make sure that you're selecting a file that is located in a network share, and this one is, so I will select it, then I will select advanced here and click OK. Then I will go to deployment tab, and here for installation user interface options, I will select basics because I don't want to allow my users to select anything during the installation process, and then click OK here. And once again, we're done creating our policy, so I will close this window. Then I will select the policy here, and this time for GPO status, I will select computer configuration settings disabled because currently this policy only has user settings in it, and I will leave all other settings on default. Now we need to assign this policy, but this time we need to assign it to an organization unit that is holding our users. In my case, it will be this one, the main users. So to assign the policy, I will click and hold on the policy and then drag and drop it here. I will click OK here, and as you can see, the policy appeared here and also here. Now to test this policy, I will go to my other client machine that I have here, client 02. And here I have a shortcut that allows me to install software from the network. I will click on it, and currently our software list is empty. And to fill in the list, we need to update our group policy, and for that I will go to Start menu, type in CMD, and type in GP update. And now let's wait for the GP update to finish. And as you can see, group policy update was successful. So now if I go to the software list, right click and select refresh, we can see our installation package. So I'll double click on it to start the installation. And the installation seems to be almost instantly done. So I will click OK here, minimize the screen. And once again, we have our desktop shortcut right here. And it seems to be working just fine. And that's it for deploying Sumatra PDF using group policy. In the future videos, I will show you how to deploy it using other software deployment tools. So like and subscribe if you want to see that, and see you in the next one.